And we are live for a Monday. Yes. Oh, on a Monday. Yay. And we are live. Good
We are
morning. Good morning to you and yours. Welcome to it, man. We call this Clinical Monday, 12th September. And today's edition, oh no, Clinical Monday on the 12th of September. It's just 19 minutes after 11. Oh my God, every time when I announce time, I feel like I'm on radio. I miss radio. I think I should go back. But this installment, it is for patient safety. That is the topic that we're dissecting today. And I am so glad that you are here with me. And I'm not alone. I'm joined by my tech team all the way from Orampop in Eguruleni. They'll be with us for the next 30 minutes or so as we get to dissect yet another clinical topic to kick you off on your healthy week. And today we are talking about patient safety. Make sure that you are part of the conversation or part of the live. Obviously, in more ways than one, we are available on all social media platforms. We are on Twitter, it is @n_health, and live on Facebook, it is Orampopin, and also on YouTube, it is Orampopin. www.popin.org gives you the behind the scenes to see what is happening in all our Orampopin sites. Well, my name is Nkosi, like I said, and I'm the host. And behind the scenes, the episode, it is produced by the ever so magical, ever so amazing Happy Phaleng, and he is the one that is helping us with all things technical behind the scenes. Well, welcome to it, man. So before I tell you who do I have, I hope that you are ready for your questions because you've put up the thingy, the poster. But thank you to everybody that has been supporting interviews on different social different radio stations. We have an interview, or rather, we have a feature with TUT. It is every Thursday at for their breakfast show. It is 012 Morning Waves, and also on Saturday on Muradele FM on the Saturday breakfast show with Young Sim. So make sure that you tune in, and thank you so much to everybody that has been tuning in. Well, listen, enough about that. Let me quickly welcome my guest. Like I said, the tech team, the duo. I have a clinician, Mr. Shokota. I don't know how you feel about me calling you Mr. But Mr. Shokota, let me tell you before you give me your greetings of what he or what are the things that he has done. Well, currently he's working for us at the Oram Institute as a NIMAT nurse in Eguruleni. The clinic is at Winnie Mandela in Tembisa. He's responsible for initiation on art and prep, and also he studied at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, where he has obtained his honors degree in Bachelor of Nursing in 2019. Also obtained his NIMBAR certificate at Aqua, if I'm saying that right. It's a training school in 2020, and recently has done his dispensing license with a PISA school, and works, or rather has also worked for the Johannesburg municipality. I don't see Luxolo as somebody who works at the municipality or who has worked at the municipality before. How you doing?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good. I'm happy that you are here. It's been long overdue. But finally you're on the platform. I'm glad that you are here. Thank you so much for making time, Luxolo.
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Really? It's here. It's happening. Let's just get straight into it. And also joining Luxolo is Vanessa Witbooi. I hope I'm saying that right, Vanessa. Vanessa has obtained her Bachelor of Social Worker degree, or social work degree at the Northwest University of Mafikeng campus, and is now a qualified social worker that is registered with the SACSSP. Has also worked at the NG Welfare, where she was counseling foster children and educating foster parents. Also has worked for Tusong Hospital, and her role was to offer psychosocial support and counseling, and also used to offer adherence counseling as to patients rather who were not adhering to treatment, and would also provide group work interventions. Currently, she is a social worker at Orampop in Eguruleni and responsible for psychosocial support to transgender women and men who have sex with other men, and also advocates on the behalf of people living with HIV/AIDS as well as the transgender women, and now working closely with our transgender women for their gender affirming healthcare, which is underway. And responsibility, or her responsibilities there is by assuring their readiness therapy, and offer them support to who are unsuppressed on their viral load. Vanessa, thank you so much for joining us. And you're the first social worker to be part of Clinical Monday. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me, V.
Let's just jump straight into it. Luxolo is saying, you know what, it's been long coming. He's been ready. Luxolo, I think this is a perfect sort of topic for us, or an introduction, an initiation for you into Clinical Monday. We're talking patient safety. So from a clinical point of view, or from a clinician point of view, what is patient safety? How would you break it down to someone?
Okay. Patient safety, in simple terms, I can say the principles or disciplines that we use so that to prevent our client from getting harm. So we can also say that those disciplines helps to prevent our client from getting adverse events. I can make an example. For instance, the client is coming to our facility, and then there is also a wet floor. So if that patient slips and then get injured, that is an injury adverse. So it's something that we should have prevented. So which means we are using those, like maybe putting the color like the yellow color, so that the patient will be aware that this is a slippery floor. So yeah, basically.
Okay, I got you. And I think you touched on it briefly, but then how do we see, or what makes us see and ensure that patients feel safe in our facility? What would be that thing that is so visible for them to see, which actually pop in as a safe facility to use?
Okay, when the client are coming inside, like let's start from the gate. Like from the gate, there is a security that is there 24/7, which means 24 days and 7 days a week. So, which means that the client, when they are coming here, they know that they are safe because there is security, and there's also a lock gate, and also they also have promoters that are guiding our clients to show the queue where they should go. So which means our client become like comfortable when they're coming inside to our facilities, which means we are located at the back of Witbooi clinic. So there's also a reception area where they are accepted and guided to the right direction to make them comfortable.
Okay, I've got you. I see that. Vanessa, from a counseling, psychosocial point of view, as a social worker, how do you make sure that our clients and our clients or patients are safe, or how do we? Well, what would be then your view from that standing point of what is patient safety?
Okay, according to the social work's point of view, patient safety has to do with avoiding unintended harm to happen to our patients, especially during the provision of health care. And it also involves minimizing physical, mental, and emotional harm, as well as safeguarding information, private information of the client. In that way, we'll be keeping them safe, and for them to feel that they are being kept safe, like being visible, is to offer them the treatment of dignity. They should be treated with dignity, because when a client is being treated with dignity, they feel that they are valued and respected. In that way, they will be emotionally comfortable and safe.
Yeah, I see you. And should facilities then ensure that their clients are safe? I mean, you touch on minimizing harm and talk about, like in this instance, in layman terms, talking about, keeping their files safe and all that. So in that way, is that then how we then ensure that their clients are safe? You know what I mean? It's like they know that these, can I say, what Luxolo said, principles are in place for them to know that they're safe and comfortable. Would you say that minimizing harm would make them sort of comfortable and be able to access their facilities?
Yes, in that way, they will feel that the private information that they've had with one of the staff from the facility, their information is kept safe, and they will also feel safe to open up to us.
And how can clients then, I think we touched on the visibility part, if a client, so I want to sort of like touch it on a client coming in, and obviously I think they'll be burdened, or they'll be anxious, or I mean, health facilities are usually a scary thing. When we go in there, we sometimes are not prepared, right? How do you then make a client feel comfortable to open up from a psychosocial point of view, or from a social worker's point of view? How do you then make sure that they are, they feel free? Perhaps maybe what other things that you say to them to make sure that there's a safe space. When you are here, you are safe, and you shouldn't worry about anything.
Adding on to what Luxolo said about welcoming our patients into the facility, it starts from the receptionist. The receptionist will explain to our clients the services that we offer. Obviously, by that time, they will still be anxious a bit. And if it happens that the problem that the client is coming with, it involves me as a social worker, I attend to it, and together with the client, I build a rapport. Building rapport, it's going to help me and the client to build a strong relationship and building trust, ensuring the client that here confidentiality is a key component. Whatever that they are sharing with me is between me and them, and also teaching them about the ways of sharing their confidential information, which involves them giving consent first, because I can't just breach confidentiality.
Yeah, Coach, I think we need to touch on consent and confidentiality, because I think those are the two striving aspect of interaction with our clients. So we'll touch on that a little bit later on. Luxolo, I want to talk about Vanessa's role. Vanessa touched on what then would be, a social worker responsibility should a client come in and they are seeking services that are specifically social worker related or psychosocial related. Then in you as a nurse, how do you come in when a client walks through? How do you, should I say, administer? No, that's the wrong way. But how do you sort of like, what is the interaction like with a client when they come to the facility?
Okay. As I've said about the patient safety, is about those principles that are guiding us to prevent our client from getting harmed. So as my role as a clinician, I'm making sure that everything is run smoothly. Let's make an example, the client is coming, at the gate, and then there's also those health promoters that are giving sanitizers, which means the client getting sanitized and screened for TB, everything, then redirected to the right department, which means the client now will come straight to us. So when the patient is coming here, I make sure that the counselors, those who are our interns that are doing vital signs, they are using a BP machine. The BP machine must have a cuff that one is put here to make sure that it does not harm the client. And then also the chair that is being used. The chair is in good condition. It cannot make any harm to the client. And then the client will come to me. When the client is coming with me, it's coming with the files, which means it's given by the counselors. So I'll make sure that I ask the name of the patient, to see that it's corresponding to what I've seen here. And then the client will tell me that their name, and then I see the file, so that to prevent the medical legal hazard. If I don't thoroughly check the file of the client, it can end up giving the client the wrong medication for the wrong diagnosis. So I'm making sure that the safety of the patient is saved. And also about the medication, going to the medication cupboard, the temperature of the room, making sure that it remains on 25 degrees Celsius so that it cannot harm the client. And also putting our medication, I'm using the FIFO rule. The FIFO rule, which means the first come, first out. And also those medications that has been expired, I'm making sure that they are no longer there, they are taken back to the farmers, which means so that when I'm giving the medication to the client is comfortable. And also, there's something that is very important. When I'm handing in the medication to the client, I give the information, which means, let's make an example, I'm giving the client a Panadol. I'll tell the patient, this is a Panadol, it's simply for pain, but it can treat any type of pain. But this medication, I can also explain the side effects. it does not have like side effects. But if you take it like too much, like not as the way as prescribed, it can cause a liver disease. So I can tell the patient how to take it. Can take 2 tablets up to 4 times a day, but it must not exceed like 8 tablets in 24 days. So I also tell the client how to store this medication to prevent like the safety of the client. The medication must be stored in a cold, dry place away from children. Ask the client about any question that cares, and then maybe the client can ask me, this medication can take with food or something like, okay, this is financial, it does not like, there's no harm, you can take with food or out, and then I give the return date, make sure that the patient understands everything in my side.
I like that. It's quite clear because I think it gives them a clear understanding of, you know, the expectations and how to then or the flow of the conversation with the client. But Luxolo, how do we then ensure? Because I mean, I know that you're talking about patient safety, but I want us to touch on their safety outside the facility. So I just came to Luxolo. I've just been initiated on art, or I just found out that my status is HIV positive. Are you not concerned about my safety now leaving the facility? I mean, you just given us a brief of how you would explain medication, you know, what would you say, you ask them if there's any questions, and then, you know, clarify those questions. Are you not scared that, you know, when they leave, they then would, you know, harm themselves? Because maybe the last time I checked my status, I was HIV negative. Now I come to the facility, you know, you're telling me that I'm HIV positive, and then you're giving me all these pills. I'm overwhelmed. I might take the pills and then go home and then overdose, even after you have just given me that, you know, take this per day, take it how like that, put it in the dry place. I mean, store it like this. Are you not then worried about the client's safety outside the facility in their own home with the medication that you've given them?
Okay. Oh. Touching into that point, when the client, I give you like the medication, maybe the client is shocked like for the first time, last time he checked his status, it was okay, but now it's positive. So as the client coming to me started from the counselor. The counselor already initiated like the counseling. So me, I'll also continue with the counseling, like asking the question the client would like, does he knows like the importance of taking medication and adherence and everything. And then I'll ask the client if does know any person like maybe a family member that he can trust like to tell about the status. So that when the client is coming outside of my facility, making sure that he understands like the importance of taking medication, and also I make sure that I cover the medication with the brown folder so that the stigma outside, like when the patient is coming outside the facilities, it cannot be seen like, oh, this one is sick or something. But the best thing for now, like in our facilities, we have also a prayer. So every client that is coming inside our facilities is coming out with the medication. So you cannot even know if this client have that is positive or is negative, because I always telling every client that everyone who's coming out here is not like maybe is taking medication for the same thing. Like they were providing like multiple offers like PrEP and also ART. So the patient are trying by all means to come down so that when he comes here, he's coming to these facilities. No one knows what is coming for. There's a lot of things that we're offering there. So when the patient is coming out from my facilities, he's confident enough that he knows how to take medication, even when he comes back, he's comfortable.
Yeah. Most definitely. Thank you for that clarity, Luxolo. If you just joined us, we call this Clinical Monday. My name is Nkosi, and I am the host. Should stop calling myself that, but I am the one that is the one that is in front of the scenes, the one that is asking the question. But your questions are more than welcome. Facebook or on Poppin Facebook page. Also Twitter it is at @n_health. We're talking about patient safety. Have you had an incident where you've never felt safe in a facility, and this could be because of the nurses or your interaction with the counselors or any other person who was supposed to provide you with service? Please share your thoughts with us on Twitter. It is at @n_health and with the hashtag Clinical Monday. And I'm joined by Vanessa, Witbooi, Witbooi, who is our social worker out at Orapop in Ekurhuleni, and also Luxolo, she got Yazin Shokota. I like saying she, but I don't know why am I giving you a surname that is not yours? Who's also a clinician out in Orapop in Ekurhuleni, and we're discussing patient safety. Vanessa, Luxolo just gave us how then a patient would need to be, comfortable, and when they leave the facility with the confidence, knowing that, they need to take care of themselves, and that sort of, I want to call it adherence, has been instilled or installed, or has been hammered in their head. From your point of view as a social worker, a client is not comfortable with leaving with those medication. What are your interventions? What kind of interventions do you then provide as a social worker?
Okay, as a social worker, since the client will be counseled by the counselors at first, and that information can be limited. And then when they come to me, because others would be throwing tantrums that they don't want to live with the medication or not wanting to accept their status. When they come to me, the first thing that I do, because now there's a crisis, I intervene with the crisis intervention, whereby I will be offering education to the client. I'll be the educator to the client, educating them about the medication, the importance of taking the medication, and also about HIV, until I see that they are now calm. And I would also ask them if they're already positive. I would ask them if there's anyone who knows about their status and the ways of disclosing their status in a safe way, so that I know when they are outside, they are safe. And I'll be continuing with my telephonically interviews when they are outside the facility, just to check if they are taking their medication properly, and also if I have to involve the family. And if they agree that they want to disclose to the family, I involve the family by educating them as well about HIV, and for them to support the client, and also about adherence.
Mm-hmm. What if now the client does not want to, Vanessa, to disclose? They're not comfortable with disclosing. They don't feel safe. That, perhaps, I mean, we touch on a lot of interpersonal violence, or intimate partner violence. We touch a lot of gender-based violence in our social spaces when we interact, and we are always trying to make sure that clients who have just found out their status, that, when they're faced with those two, these are some of the interventions that they need to undertake. Then what if a client is not yet ready, or what if a client does not want to disclose their HIV? They just came out of the facility. Luxolo just told them that they're HIV positive. They are living under violent circumstances. What are the go-to, say, interventions to make sure that they're safe, and they take care of them? Because adherence is quite important, because we need that education of taking your pill every day, and there are benefits, and they should know about that. But how do you make sure that even under those circumstances, they don't want to disclose, they don't want to tell their partner or their family that they are HIV positive, they're not ready to disclose because they fear that, they would be violated just because of their status? How do we then intervene there? What are your go-tos? What do you say?
In this case, when a client is not ready to disclose their status to their partner or their family, I'm not going to force them to do it. We'll be having continuous sessions until I see that they are ready to disclose their status to their partner or family. And if it involves a case of intimate partner violence, there we can also involve other stakeholders outside, such as the SAPS, for them to also assist with this situation. In that way, the client will be able to disclose their status with their partner, and I will be the mediator for the client and the partner or the family member. And also I will also playing a role of being an advocate for the client, because sometimes it becomes difficult for the client to disclose their statuses to their partners or their family. So me as a social worker, I will play the role of being an advocate, advocating for them.
Yeah. Luxolo, the importance of then making sure that the client has support. I mean, you tell them they don't feel safe or for whatever reason, the importance of them having support. How do you establish that conversation of saying, who is your friend? Or do you have a support structure at home? Who can you tell about this? Because sometimes I might be alone, and HIV as it is, it might be because of the stigma, and that it might be stressful for me. And like I said, I might not feel safe disclosing because I fear judgment and all that. But I might need someone to talk to. I might need someone who can support me. From a clinician's point of view, how do you then cultivate that conversation to say you need to have a support structure?
Okay, in that situation, the client maybe does not have the support at home. Maybe like there is no one that she is comfortable to talk about their status. At our facilities, we have like the core group members. Like I know maybe some of the people that are already like maybe on ARVs like for the longest time, so they are comfortable like about their status. So I try to link that client with those people. Like, okay, there's also some people like who also live with HIV, but they are compatible. So we create like a group chat or something like that, so that any issues that you want to talk about, and also I'll be there, and also our social work is also there. So trying by all means that the client have like enough support in terms of our facilities, because we have those group like to combine them, those people who are taking ARVs, so that to improve the adherence to reach our target of 99.
I got you. Guys, I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, but I want to touch on consent before I wrap it up. Actually, consent and violence. And also, can I say staff worker violence? I'll start with Luxolo. You just told me that I am HIV positive, or I have what, and I'm not comfortable. How confident are you that I'm not gonna come at you and punch you or something? Because I don't know how to deal with the news that you told me. How safe are you as a clinician, especially if you're doing outreach work? And our community is not to paint them in a negative way, but somewhat they have the element of violence. It could be somebody who's dealing with drug abuse, or somebody who's dealing with alcohol abuse, somebody who emotionally is not in a stable place to accept the news of being HIV positive. Then they are violent towards you. Are you safe?
In that situation, it depends like how do you communicate with the client. So if like the way you communicate with the client, like you show like being calm, like you don't raise like your voice, the tone when you're talking with the client, like making sure that you understand the situation, like you're putting yourself in that situation, so that the client, like even like the emotional are too high, they can be controlled, like because like in outreach, there's some cases like going outside there, those clients I have having knives, like you can see like they are administrating the client now. But for me, I need like every time like to calm down to make sure that like, when I speak to the patient, like I talk to the patient in a good manner, like, so that the patient cannot feel like I'm stereotype or something. Like I make sure that I am in the same page with the client, like giving the support by all means, using like the psychosocial aspect, like as I've studied about them, like how to deal like the aggressive client, like yeah.
Most definitely. Consent would be the last topic to touch on. How do we establish consent and confidentiality and consent? Perhaps maybe Vanessa, let's start with you. What would be the relationship between the two, and how do we then establish that and make sure Uti, I won't say the client gives it, but the client is comfortable to give consent just because they know Uti, these are the steps, or this is what it entails.
Okay, for clients to be able to give consent, first it's me by offering my education. Being an educator, I educate them about the problem that they will be coming to me with, And I will also explain to them how consent works like, because in that way, for them to give me consent, they have to be fully informed first before they could give out consent. And when they have given that consent, I ensure them that their information is confidential. It's just between me and them, and other stakeholders, no other multidisciplinary can also be involved, but also with the consent of the patient. But the only way when I can share my client's information with other, let's say the clinician or other multidisciplinary team, is when the client is in, maybe is being abused, or I see that it involves maybe a criminal offense. That's when I can just share their confidential information without them giving consent, or others who are not of sound mind, because I will be acting as their advocate. I will be advocating for them, that I can share their confidential information.
I've got you. I've got you guys. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you so much for unpacking patient safety and all the other subtopics that came through the conversation. I think we need to pack it here, but I want us to then continue the conversation on a different day for a clinical Monday and touch on intimate partner violence and gender-based violence, and really break down some of the ways of ensuring that our patients who access our services who might be experiencing this are safe, and that they are turning to medication, because I think it's quite important. So if I were to jump into this now, we would be here for an hour, and I don't want that. I know that you guys are busy and you need to attend to our clients. But I thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you so much for your time, Luxolo. You will probably be making more rounds on Clinical Monday, and I look forward to that interaction. Vanessa, thank you so much as well for making time, and we'll see you guys. I want to say we'll see you tomorrow, but might not even see you next month. But we'll see you on this platform very soon. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Happy. Thank you so much for being a super producer behind the scenes and making sure that this conversation is free flowing without glitches, and our viewers at home are enjoying this. I thoroughly have enjoyed spending time with Luxolo and Vanessa, and most definitely we need to reschedule them again to focus on yet another clinical topic. And yeah, man, thank you so much for everybody that has tuned in. Oh, Happy said he was going to come to the screen today. Happy, are you ready to come to the screen, or let's postpone it for Friday?
No, it's fine. I can still come through.
Let's see, Happy. Let's see who's. We see the picture, but let's put the face to the production, and see who has us doing Nazo, who has us
Yeah.
producing these things. Yeah, man, that is Happy Phaleng. Thank you for the work that you do. Really appreciate it. And it has been quite smooth. I hope you enjoyed the conversation behind the scenes as we produce.
Yeah, no, I do all the time. I'd usually send you WhatsApp messages and be like, I like this, I like that. That point was great and all that, because I listen throughout.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Luxolo, Vanessa, thank you guys. Happy super production as always. And from myself, we will see you this Wednesday, Friday, as we focus yet another spotlight on another feature called Israel. Make sure that you join us. Until then, follow us on all our social media platforms. www.popn.org gets you the behind the scenes. And yeah, man, catch up with our previous episodes as well. Until then, happy streaming. Bye.